Good evening, one and all. In today's session, we will see some concepts like how to print in different ways and also how to accept input from the user, and then what are nested loops and some pattern printing programs. Okay. So we have seen system.out.println. Okay, we have seen system.out.println and we have seen system.out.print. Can someone quickly tell me what is the difference between these two in your own words? Anyone?
Whatever is written in the print ln statement will be printed in a new line.
Yes, correct. And for print, it will continue wherever it had stopped, means on the same line. So for print and println, you know it. Now there's another thing that you can use is printf. Now, if you know C language, there to accept input we use scanf, and to display the output or the result we use printf. So that same printf that we use there, we are using it in Java as well. But system.out.printf, not only printf, system.out.printf. And what is the system? What is this out? As I mentioned, we'll see it when we start with object-oriented programming. So printf is a method or a built-in function, and you need to pass some arguments within the parenthesis. Since it is a function, you can pass arguments. It is a method, you can pass arguments. And the argument that you pass is one of the argument is the value, and the other thing is actually called as format specifier. Means which format. For example, if you want to display the number 10, then 10 is an integer. So that corresponding format you must specify. In Python also you have seen this, right? Have you seen %d in Python? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. So same use it has here also. It is to specify the format, or you can say the data type of the data. Okay. So %d is used for integer. So the syntax is system.out.printf. And when you use println print, there you cannot use this %d or %c or %s. You can only use %something in the printf statement. And here you can pass the value. So what will happen when this statement gets executed? The number 10 will come in place of %d. That means wherever you write %d or %c or any %, in that place the value will come. For example, here the output will be 10. Okay, I may also write it this way. I may write within the bracket, I can write like this: a is equal to %d, close your double quote, comma, and I can write 10 and close. So the output will be, since this a is equal to %d is within the quotes. So what will happen? The output will be like a is equal to, and in place of %d, the number 10 will come. Okay. So similarly, you can also write hello %d and comma. You can write the variable name also. Like suppose the variable name is a. Okay, if the variable name is a, the value of a will come over here. So hello, the value of a will come. Like suppose if a is equal to 10, then hello 10 will get displayed. Is this clear? How to use it?
Yes.
Okay, so these are some more examples which you'll understand because it is in detail. Now I'm just admitting students whoever are coming. Okay, means I don't know whether you're enrolled in this course or not, but I cannot keep checking whether the person is registered or not each time. So whoever is coming, I'm just admitting. Okay. So you may be thinking I'm checking you or not, but that's not possible actually. But it's like it's up to you. Like if you're registered, you're attending. If you're not, also you're attending. But if you're not registered, you won't get all the benefits. Okay, that I want to say. Only if you're registered, you'll be able to access all this content. So this is another example. Printf %d 10. So as I said, 10 will come in place of %d because %dy it is an integer. Similarly, for floating point values, for example, 10.1, you have to use %f. Okay, so usually it gives certain amount of digits after the decimal point. Okay, so though you have written 10.1, after the decimal you may not have only one, you may have up to 6 digits. Okay, and that can be controlled also. For example, if you write percent point 2f, then only after the decimal point 2 digits precision. For example, if after the decimal point you have it like this 10.732, then only 2 digits after decimal will be considered. That is 73 will be considered. 10.73 will be the output, 2 will not come. Another example, if you are using 0.2f, like percent 0.2f, and suppose the number is 10.738, then at the output you can get 10.74. Means we know that if the next digit is 5 or greater than 5, it will get rounded up, right? The previous digit will get increased by 1. So that will happen. But you'll get only 2 digits after the decimal if you use percent 0.2f. Similarly, if I use percent 0.3f, how many digits I'll get after decimal? Can you tell me?
3.
Yeah. If I use 9, I'll get 9 digits. Okay. So whatever 0.8, suppose I write, then I will get 8 digits after decimal. Okay. You can try that out. Then %c for characters. Characters are written within single quote. Or within a variable, you can store a character and print the character from the variable. For example, you can write char a equal to suppose L within single quote. And then you can write %c and the name of my variable is A. So I can write %c A. Or if you do not want to store the character inside a variable, directly you can give the character over here. Is this clear? Yes or no?
Yes.
Similarly, if you are using small c and you're giving small a, that means lowercase, you'll get lowercase a. But if you use capital C and small a only, then the small a will get converted into capital A. Okay, so remember this, that whatever your format specifier is for characters and for strings, because in numbers there is nothing as lowercase 1, uppercase 1, or capital 0, small 0. There's nothing like that. But like that we have it in characters. So if you write percent small c, whatever character you give, it will be printed in lowercase. If it is lowercase, it will be displayed as lowercase, and if it is in uppercase, it will get displayed in lowercase. Okay, means whatever is the character, it will get displayed as a lowercase character. And if you write percent capital C, then whatever your character is, it may be small a, it may be capital A, everything will be capital in the output. Okay, so lowercase or uppercase will get converted to uppercase if you're using capital C, and if you're using small c, lowercase or uppercase will get converted into lowercase. Is this clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Similarly, %s, if you are using small s and if you're using capital S. If you're using small s, then hello in lowercase will be hello in lowercase only. But if you're using capital S, hello in lowercase will become hello in capital case or uppercase. Now, what if you have H, capital E, small l, capital L, and small o? So there's a combination of lower and uppercase. If you're using small s, small s, then everything will be converted into lowercase. That means H, E, L, L, O. If you're using capital S, then everything will be converted into uppercase. Okay. So whatever is the case, lower or upper or combination, it will be converted into either small or big only. Okay, depending on your small s or capital S. Similarly, to print the Boolean values, that is false or true, you can use %b. %b means %Boolean, and small b means small FALSC, that means lowercase. And if you write capital B, capital B, then it will print capital FALSC. And how it is decided whether it is true or false, depending on this. 5 less than 4 is false, and you have used % small b, so it will be lowercase false. and you're using percent capital B, 5 less than 4, which is false. So capital FALSE. Suppose the case is like this: system.out.printf, then in the bracket I'm writing within my quote percent capital B, comma 10 equal to 10. What will be the output? Can you tell me?
True. Capital case.
So only T will be capital or everything will be capital?
No, everything will be
Everything
uppercase.
capital.
Yes, correct. Very good. Similarly, you can try for false. 10 not equal to 10 will give capital FALSE. Okay. Similarly, you can also print, if you write null over here, NULL, then it will print false. But if you write and you're using percent %b, okay, percent %b means you'll either get true or false. And depending on small b or capital B, you'll get either capital or small in the output. And if you're writing null over here, instead of 5 greater than 4, 5 less than 4, you'll get false. But suppose you're writing a string like cow and you're using percent %b, okay, then this string is not empty, means there you have written something, then it will give true. Okay, if it was capital B, then you would get capital true. Okay, so let us try one thing now in the IDE. If I write like this, I'm using system.out.printf, and I'll write percent %b, and I'll give a nothing, empty string. Okay, let us see the output. So it is giving true. Okay, suppose I write this way, it is giving true, means string is actually having a space. Okay, and if I give this, it will give true. And if I give this is not enough. If I give null, it should give false. Okay, it's giving false. And for capital B, it should give capital FALSE. Okay, so as you can see, it is working fine. So you can try it. Okay, so these are the some format specifiers. You can try it in C language also, small c, capital C, small s, capital S.
Hello?
Similarly, yes.
After percent, can we use any alphabet or only this?
No, only these, because D stands for actually decimal. Decimal means your integer numbers. F stands for float, C stands for character, S stands for string, B stands for boolean. Similarly, here next slide, E stands for exponential, and G also stands for some specific format of exponential. So only these letters you can use, otherwise it will not understand. Okay, let me show you. If I give percent, suppose K, okay, let us see what happens. So see, you're getting some error. Okay, so it is only these letters S, C, F, D, E, and all that. And what are these E, G, and all? If you want to represent the floating point value as an exponential value, as I said, you can write 10.23 as 0.10 0.1023 into 10 raised to, you have divided by 2, so you can multiply by 2. So you can write it in the form of exponent. And the same thing that I've written, something into 10 raised to 2, you can also write it as something E2 or E plus 2 also, because 2 is positive, right? So E plus 2. So this is just rarely we use them. So usually we do not use them most frequently, but you should know it. Okay. And G is for a particular range of exponents. So you can read this later on. It's not that important, but I just wanted to mention it. Similarly, you can also use for your different number systems. For example, octal number system base 8, okay, hexadecimal, you can have small x so that you get the characters. Like, you know that in if we write 10, it stands for A in hexadecimal. Am I right? Yes or no?
Yes.
Have you studied hexadecimal? Yeah. You have studied it in your basic electronics engineering. So that is what 10 means A, 11 means B, 12 means C, 13 means D, 14 is E, 15 is F, and you can start off with 16 and so on. 16 means you can actually, we don't, instead of 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, we write A, B, C, D, E, F. So actually we had stopped at 9, right? After that we started A, B, C, D. So you have to continue from 10. So 10 means actually, then you can go on for 11, 12, and so on. Okay, so this is hexadecimal. You may know it, you may not know it, but I just want to inform you. Similarly, small x will give you small a, capital X will give you capital A. Small h is for representing the strings in hexadecimal. We know that 10 is A and 11 is B and all, but strings can also be represented in hexadecimal. So you can use H for representing the strings in hexadecimal. Similarly, you can use for the floating point values, how you can represent in this particular format, you can use percentage. So this is just advanced concepts which are very rarely used. Okay. Okay, so this was with printf. So can you tell me which are the different ways of printing that we have seen till now? Can you just tell me?
3 types.
Print, println, and
Yes,
println.
what are they? Yeah, correct. Print, println, and printf. So these are for printing. Now there's another thing called as format also, system.out.format, and it works just like printf. Then what is the difference? The difference is you can use dot format for representing the output in the dialog boxes. Not necessarily always at the output like console. Like here we get the output, right? It is called as console or output terminal window. So it is not necessary always you want output here, because you may have seen that when we go on websites, they might give us some alert in some small box that pops up. So in that we can give our print statement or not. So it is not necessary always there is one way only. You can write %.out.format. Okay. If you want to use format in place of printf, that is also possible. You can use %d suppose, and I'll write 10 over here. So let us run this also. See, you're getting 10 here. So format is working like printf if you're using it like this. If you use it with the dialog boxes, it can be used there. Format can be used for dialog boxes also. But printf we cannot use for dialog box. So that is the difference between format and printf. So actually there are 4 ways till now that we have seen. And if need be, we can see other ways in future. Okay.
So,
Now let us go for the, yes.
so while printing
Yes.
something, if we give only double quote and nothing inside it, not even space, then what happens?
Then you won't get any output. Means it won't give you error because there's nothing wrong, but you won't get any output. Like for example, %s, and I'm not, S stands for string, and I'm not giving any string, means empty string. And see, there's no error till now. Let me run it also. So there'll be no output. Nothing is visible. Means it has executed, but nothing is visible because there's nothing in my string. If I give a space, see here, there's nothing. If I give a space over here, that also you won't be able to see, but it is there. Okay, it is there, but you cannot see it. Means if it is possible, I've selected it, means this is that space. Okay, you can see the cursor is moving front and back, means this is the space which you cannot see. So there'll be no output because it is a space or it is empty, but there'll be no error for this. Is it clear?
Yes, sir, got it.
Okay, now let us see how to accept input. Now till now what we are doing, if we wanted to add two numbers, we were doing it int a equal to 5, int b equal to 4, and then print a plus b. So if we want to run the program for 2 plus 3, we have to write a separate program, right? Because A and B values we cannot change directly. We have to manually go and change the values. But what if we want to write the same program for different values of A and B? That time you have to accept the value of A and B from the user. So in Python, you use the input function. In C, you use scanf. In C++, you use cin. So similarly in Java, you have to use a particular format, which is quite different compared to other languages. And this is the format. Scanner input equal to new scanner system.in. Now what is this big thing is? Actually, it is very simple if you understand object-oriented concepts in future. So for now, we have to understand that it can be used to accept input from the user. And to use the syntax, there are two things. First of all, you have to import certain things. In Python, you can import certain modules like maybe math.h file. Maybe you can import pandas library, numpy library in Python and all. Similarly, means why you import them? Because you want to use that functionality which is written inside that file or library. In C, C++, we write hash include iostream.h. Why? We want to use the input output functionality, which is defined inside that file. Because if we don't include that file, we simply write C in Cout, which you're already studying in second year in C++. If you simply write C in Cout, it does not have any meaning, because what happens when you do C in Cout is defined inside the iostream file. Right? If you do not include that file, compiler will not understand what is the meaning of C in Cout, or what is the meaning of print, what is the meaning of input function in Python. It will not understand. Okay, you have to include certain things. Now it is not that every time you have to include, only if you need that you have to include. Sometimes in programming, you may include so many files, but maybe you do not require all of them. So if you must include only what you require. Okay, otherwise simply it may take certain extra time, right? So and it will increase even your time if you're including so many things. So it is necessary to include certain files which are already defined, means they have the predefined code. The developers of Java or C or C++ have already defined it, and you have to simply use that functionality to run your own program, right? To run your program, they are helping you by whatever they have written inside that file. So using this, it is actually, you're using a class, you're using an object, you're using object-oriented concept here. But the details of how it works and all we'll be discussing in future. Okay, so how this works is, first of all, you have to include certain library, and that library is over here. Let me show you. That library is java.util. Okay, there are so many libraries which you have to import, and that library can have certain subparts. For example, whenever you write dot, it means you're going further inside. For example, when I open my any folder structure over here, okay, if I open this, you can see how it is going. It is going to see users, my name, then desktop, then TSM1, then IoT club. Means it is going inside and inside, and then whatever you want, then you're going to get it, right? Means you have to go deeper and deeper into something. Similarly, because you have one folder, inside that another folder, inside another folder, then you have your required file. Similarly here, inside Java, you have the util functionality. Okay, means Java, then inside you'll find the util, and still more inside you go, you'll find the required things. Okay, so that is why we are writing dot over here. Similarly, if I'm writing com.company, means there is a com folder, inside that there is a company folder. Okay, so just a minute, I have an important call. Okay, so that's what I was saying. Now, if I write dot star, means inside java.util, you want to extract everything. Okay, java.util, and inside that everything. That is the meaning of star. Okay, or asterisk. I can also write import java.util.scanner. Scanner is the thing that we need to extract from this file actually. But if you write dot star, means everything inside the util will get, you will be able to execute. But I want only scanner for now, so I'll write dot scanner. Okay. And if you hover your mouse over this, it will also show you scanner is coming from java.util. Okay, this is the meaning of that. So I hope this is clear. First of all, you have to import this so that you can use that input output functionality. You are not audible. Okay, so this was the thing. First of all, you have to import this. Then if you want to accept the input, this is the syntax, this one. Scanner scan equal to new scanner system.in. Now what is this? The meaning of this is scanner is a class. Scan is the object of that class. This scan, you can call it anything. You can call it obj, you can call it a, you can call it anything, but usually I call it scan. Okay, so scanner dot scan equal to new. New is a keyword again in Java that is used for dynamic memory allocation. Means sometimes what happens, this there is specific space that is allocated for each of the variables, and if you want to exceed the space, for example, you want to use 10 variable space instead of one variable, so some manipulations will be done so that next time you may want only 5 memory locations, next time you may want 2, next time you may want 100 for the same program. So depending upon your size, it keeps on varying so much, so you cannot write any constant size over here. Suppose the size is 100 I specify, but I want the size only for 5 spaces. Then the remaining 95 will get wasted. So there's no fixed thing that you can give here. It should keep on changing, and that is possible by this new functionality, this new keyword. Okay. So that is the meaning of new, which we have to discuss in detail later on. Okay, so that is the meaning of new. And scanner is the same name of the class. Here, if you are writing scanner, this should also be scanner. And the system.in you cannot change. Now you might have seen view system dot, just a minute. Hello. हाँ हाँ Yeah, sorry for the disturbance. So this I was telling you that for print statement we use system.out. Okay, and for taking the input we'll use system.in. Okay, so you might have understood that within the system you have in as well as you have the out. Okay, so you can use in if you want to for the input functionality, you can use out for the output functionality. Is this clear till now?
Yes.
Okay, so this will get more clear when we understand class, object, all those things. Okay, so now this if you write like this, so first step is what? Importing, means including the file. Second step is creating object of the scanner class. Scanner is the class, scan is the object name. Creating object of the class so that you can use the input functionality using this object. Okay, so first you're including the file, then you create the object, and using this object you will be able to accept the values. How? Using this syntax. So x is a variable, I can write int x over here, and in that variable I will store the input, whatever I take from the user. How I will take the input? Scan is the object, so I'm writing scan dot. Dot means for the object scan there are certain methods. Means if you are using the object of scanner class, in class you can have the variables, you can have the methods, you can have the functions, right? So I hope you are aware of this. Even if you are not, no problem. So what happens? Using the scan object, maybe first time I want to accept an integer value, so I'll use next int. Maybe next time I want to accept the floating point value using the same object, then I'll use next float. Similarly, next time I want to accept a double, then using the same scan object, I'll use next double function. So each function is designed for the specific data type. That is the meaning of using the same object, but different functions of that same object. Is it clear? Yes or no?
Yes.
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 Okay. Yeah. So this is to accept integer. So see the steps again. Import java.util.scanner. If you don't remember it is scanner, then simply dot star you can write, no problem. But I've told you the difference. Dot star means everything. Scanner means only that scanner functionality. And then this scanner is actually a class whose object you have created by this fixed syntax. You cannot change the syntax. Only thing that you can change is this object name. You can write obj, you can write a or whatever. Only that you can change. But this everything else will be same. So for example, here if I write obj, here also I have to write obj. And using this obj, I can call this next int, which is already defined inside that file which I've included, which I've imported. So using this right-hand side, I will be able to accept the value, suppose 12, and that value 12 will get stored in this x variable. And then you know that once the value is stored in the variable, we can do so many things. We can add the variables, we can subtract the variables, we can do plus equal to something, we can directly print the value. Okay, so our main aim is to accept the value from the user, and we can do whatever we want with that value in our program. Okay, so this was it. So let us run one program and see now. So I'll write some program here. Okay, it's already written. So this program is to add two numbers. So first step, import java.util.star or import java.util.scanner. Then I'm writing one message. Okay, this is just a message taking input through the user. Okay, just a message I'm writing. Then see here the object name is sc. But for your convenience, for time being, for first few programs, let us take it as scan only. Okay, you can change it, but for your convenience, let us take it as scan. So same syntax, you have created the object. Now using this object, I will accept the numbers. Okay. So first I'm writing, and I'm telling the user, enter the number 1. Simple print statement, I'm telling the user, enter the number 1. Then what I'll write, I will create one variable. I will declare one variable int a. Then maybe on the same line, I will write equal to, you can also write int a, semicolon, a equal to, the name of the object is what, scan, dot, I want to accept integer. Why integer? Because I've written int a. Okay, so I can accept an integer. How to accept? Using the next int method. Remember, this is a particular way of writing. Next ka n is small and int ka I is capital. Okay, so this is a particular case, right? A particular way of writing. And then your brackets, parenthesis. So this is the thing. So a will get the value whatever I input. Okay. Similarly, I'm telling the user enter the number 2. Same way I'll accept the value for b. And then I'm using another variable sum to add a plus b. And then I'm going to print the sum of two numbers is. Now for a change, let us use printf. You know how to use print, you know how to use println. Let us use printf. And in printf, you cannot use the plus. In println, what we are doing? We were using that plus, right? Something plus something plus something to concatenate, to attach the strings. But here we cannot do that. We can use the commas. For example, we can write the sum of %d and %d is %d. Now %d's have to get replaced with the particular values. So I want to say the sum of a and b is sum. Okay, this is the meaning of it. Okay, so this %d will get replaced with a, this %d will get replaced with b, and this %d will get replaced with sum. Is this clear?
Yes.
Others?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this was this program. Okay, so let us execute this much. So, okay, I need to run this file. So it is telling me, see now wherever you have written this, this one, a equal to scan int next. So it is waiting for the user to give the input. That is why you can see at the output what is getting executed. Taking input for the user, that will get executed, simple print statement, then enter number 1. Then it is waiting for me. So that is why you can see that something has stopped here. It is like, it is on the hold mode. Like. So I will enter the value, suppose 12. I'll click on enter. then it is telling me the next line what should get executed, this one. So enter the number 2. So I'll enter suppose 10. Okay, you can enter any number, and then it will get this is the thing that is telling me, okay, to enter 10. It will take the value 10 and it will store it in B. So now B is equal to 10. Next, what will get executed? Sum equal to A plus B, means 12 plus 10, that is 22 will get stored in sum, and then I'll print this one. Okay, so wherever you have written this scan.next int or next double, next float, next boolean, there it will stop for me to give the input. And soon as I give the input, the next line in the program will get executed. So as you can see, I've written A, B, sum, and in that order only it will get replaced, A, B, and sum. So 12 is A, 10 means B, and 22 is the sum. Is this program clear to everyone?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Sir, those
Yes,
indentations
ask
don't
me.
matter, right?
No, indentations don't matter. Only in Python it matters. Why? Because we are
Sir,
giving the curly brackets here. So you write in any style, it will accept. Yes. What?
I wrote a similar program, but it is showing some problem. It says resource leak, scan is never closed.
What it is saying? Resource link.
Resource leak,
What?
scan is never closed.
Not closed. Okay, just check for your curly brackets. Okay, maybe you missed out on some curly bracket, and try to check your import also. Sometimes what happens, if I forget this import, no, it will suggest me also sometimes, and automatically it will include that. For example, if I show over here, it is telling me import class, it is suggesting me. So if I click on this, see, it is importing it automatically for me. So sometimes this may not happen automatically, or there may be some other problem. So just check your curly brackets and check the import is correct or not. And still, if you're getting a problem, then you can ask me next time if you want. Okay. So this was this program. Any other doubt you have till now? Anyone?
Hello.
No? Yes?
If we want to take the input in one line, then
In one line, yeah, you can do that, but means if it has to be stored in different variables, then you have to take it one by one. Okay, for this program. If you want to take in different means together many inputs, then there's a different way of doing that. That we'll see in the next lecture, because that is little complicated. Okay, so there is a way, but we'll see that. So this was for this program about including. Now let us see some theory part about it. So same thing here, the object name is input. Okay, so it can change, but you can use scan for now. And for string, if you want to read, use next. For integer, next int. For double, next double. Similarly, you have byte, short, long, float, boolean. Similarly, next byte, next short, next long, next float, next boolean. Now, there's one more thing over here, that is about next and next line. So there's a difference for the strings. There are two ways about the strings. And why is that so? If I write next over here, just a second, I'll comment this out. Okay, so I'm accepting a string using this next. For string, it is next, and sometimes they use next line. What is the difference between next and next line? If I run my program over here, let me also write a message here. Enter string. Okay, so let me run this. So it is telling me enter a string. So I'll enter any string like hello. Okay, it is a single word. Means it is not a sentence, it is a single word. And then it will print that word because I'm printing that. Means what happened, it first accepted it, stored it in str variable, and then it printed the str variable's value. And mind you, S is capital for string. Okay, sometimes people give small s and then they may get an error. Okay, but S is capital for string. For int it is small I, for double it is small d, but for string it is capital S, the data type. Now if I give a multi-word string, that is a sentence, you can say, for example, good morning, it will print only the first word. That means as soon as it sees the space, good space morning, as soon as the space comes, it will stop accepting further. Okay, so it is accepting only the word before the space. Okay, and it will not accept the space also. Okay, before the space, it will just stop. If I want to accept sentences or multiple words, then I have to use next line. Next line means it will accept lines, or you can say sentences. So I'm running it again, enter the string, good morning, actually good evening. So it is printing good evening. Okay, means multiple words are accepted. So this is the difference between next and next line. In C language, you have different ways to handle this. Okay, then this is next. So as I said, hello only will get printed. And you can also, like till now what we were doing, we were writing, for example, int a is equal to scan, that is the object name, dot next int, brackets. And then we are printing the value of a. But we can directly print this value also. Means what? Whatever we are accepting from the user is getting stored in a. Means if the right hand side is 12, then a will become equal to 12. So why not just print the right hand side instead of storing it in a variable and then printing the value of the variable? We can directly print the right hand side. So that is what I'm doing here. So I'm telling enter your name. That means a string will be entered by the user. And then whatever is entered by the user is a string, right? So I'm using this plus to concatenate using this string. So what will get printed? Your name is, and whatever the string the user enters. Right? Is this understood by everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
Because this input is the name of the object, that is your scan actually. So scan.next is nothing but it will hold the string value that the user enters, and it is a string, so we are concatenating it here. Okay, so your name is the string that you input. So that is the way. For example, enter your name. So this is entered Ali, and then your name is whatever you have entered. If you enter multiple words like first name, last name, then you have to use next line because you have a space over here. So if in this program next is being used, so only the first word, that is first name, is accepted. So use next line, similar like we use next, simply use next line. You'll get both the names, first name, last name. So at your home, what is your task? Read an integer, a double, a float, a boolean. Try to read all the data types from the user, store them inside variables, print the values of the variables, or directly print the input.scan, means directly print this right hand side and see, and perform some arithmetic operation, means you can also do like this. For example, you can write system.out.println, and then you can print, for example, scan dot obj, sorry, just a minute, scan dot next int plus scan dot next int. Means what will happen? Two integers will get accepted by this. This will accept one integer, and this will also accept another integer. So both the integers will get added by this plus because they are integers, and it will get printed. The sum will get printed. Is it clear? This program also?
Yes.
Okay, just a minute. I need to attach my charger. Okay, so that was about some programs about accepting input from the user. So next double, next float, everything I'm showing you in this sample screenshots. You can store this next float inside a variable, which is a float variable, but you cannot store the double. Means if you're writing next double and you're storing that inside a float, it is not possible. Okay, because data type on the right hand side should accept a double, and on the left side you're storing in a float. So it is type mismatch error, which is not, which will give you an error. It will not execute. So it will also give you the message like that is the benefit of this IDE, that required is float, but it has found the double. Okay, that is the meaning. So if you write next float and you store it inside a float and you print that variable, it will give you correct output. Similarly, whatever integer you have accepted, you can store it in a variable and you can perform certain arithmetic operations or whichever operation and print the value. Next Boolean means you can accept true, small t, okay, and small r, small u, small e, and similarly lowercase false. You can accept these two values. But using next Boolean, if the user gives the input 1, 2, 3, then it will give you an error. Okay, and how to handle this mismatch exception, that also we'll see. So all these are some examples. Okay. Now, see this now. Break and continue. Have you heard of these keywords, break and continue?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So they are used to, what are they used for? Can anyone tell me?
Come out of the loop.
Yes, so they are actually to manipulate the iterations of a loop. Means either you may want to exit from the loop, or maybe you want to skip certain iteration or something like that. So that time you can use them. So they are usually used for loops only. And where else can we use break? One is for the loops. Where else have we used break till now? Can you tell me?
Switch case. Switch.
Excellent, very good. We have used it for switch case also. Okay, so we cannot use continue for switch case. Okay, we can use only break for switch case. Now let us write some for loop over here. So you might be seeing here int I equal to 0. This I equal to 0 should have come over here, right, inside the for, but this is also acceptable. So that is what I said. There are so many versions or variants of this for loop while loop. That means if you are skipping something here, then you can place that over here also. Similarly, this I plus plus, if you remove it from here and you write it inside the loop, then also it will happen. It will work, means no error. So there are so many things that you need to remember. So this is one way of writing it. Then if I want to print the I value, so I will start from 0, and what will be the last value of I that will get accepted here? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If I is equal to 10, you will break, means you will come out from the loop automatically. But suppose I want to come out from the loop at I equal to 5. That time I can write something like this. If I is equal to 5, okay, sometimes people write single equal to, many times that happens, but that will not give you an error, but it will give you some different way of output. Okay, so if the I is equal to 5, I want to break, means I will finish my loop. I will come out from the loop at I equal to 5. And if I come out from my loop at I equal to 5, then I equal to 6, 7, 8, 9, they will not get executed. Why? Because I've come outside from my loop. I cannot go inside again. So if I comment this, means I'm not going to break. Okay, if I comment this, this will not get executed. So before that, before the break, let us see what should be the output. We already know it should be 0 to 9, and we are using print ln, right? So it is coming one after the other, as you can see. So the remedy is use print. Okay, so that on a single line 0 to 9 you will get, as you can see here. So if I write if I is equal to 5, I will break. That means I is equal to 0 will get printed first, and then it will check I equal to 5. No, because I is equal to 0. So this if condition is not satisfied, it will not get executed. Then I'll again go for the next iteration when I is equal to 1. So 1 will get printed here. 1 equal to 5, no. Next I'll print 2, 2 equal to 5, no. Next I'll print 3, no. I'll print 4, no. Then I is equal to 5. I will print 5. Why? Because this statement is coming here. After I equal to 5 is printed, I'm checking, right? I'm checking if I is equal to 5, break. So I is equal to 5 will get printed. And after that, since it is equal to 5, I'll break. Okay, so the output should be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As you can see here. Now, if I do not want to include 5, then what I'll do? This system.out.print, this thing, I will remove it from here, means I've commented it from here, and I will paste it over here. So what will happen? First you're checking and then you'll print. So I is equal to 0, not satisfying the if condition. So I'll print it. So output will be 0. Then for next value of I is 1, not satisfied, so I'll print. Next value is 2, not satisfied, print. Then 3, then 4. Then when I is equal to 5, condition satisfied. What is the condition if it is satisfied? I'll break, means I'll come out from my loop. From here directly outside my loop. So this statement will not get a chance for execution. So at I equal to 4 is the last value at the output. Because at 5, the condition was satisfied and you came out. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all these values of I are skipped. Okay, so let us execute. So as I said, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Have you understood break statement?
Yes.
And break is usually given inside a condition, means only if condition is satisfied, break. Okay, usually. Not compulsory, but usually. Similarly, continue is what? Continue means if I write continue here. So when I is equal to 5, whatever statements are written out after this continue. After this continue, which statement is there? This one, system.out.print. This will not get a chance of execution. That means when I is equal to 5, directly from here, I will jump to the next value of I equal to 6. Okay, so what do I mean? First, I is equal to 0, condition of if is not satisfied, so print 0. Then 1 will get printed, 2 will get printed, 3 will get printed, 4 will get printed. When I is equal to 5, from here, I will directly jump over here for I is equal to 6. Okay, so I'm not getting a chance to execute whatever is after the continue, which is within the for. Means whatever is within the for, but after the continue, means this part will not get executed. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 executed. When I is equal to 5, I will go back for the next iteration. That time I is equal to 6. Now I is equal to 6. Condition of if is false, not satisfied. That means I get a chance for printing the value 6. Similarly, 7, 8, 9. Continue means whatever is after the continue within the loop will get skipped. But you will not exit the loop. Break means exiting from the loop completely. Loop is over, completely over. But continue means for that particular iteration, the loop is over. Okay, I hope you're getting this difference. So when I execute this, as I said, only except 5, because at 5, I'm skipping that iteration. So 5 will not get printed. After 4, you directly have 6. So is the break and continue clear for everyone?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So I think we can stop here for today. But before that, I want to ask you, have you all tried? Yeah, you can put your attendance also. So have you all tried to execute programs like Armstrong, prime number, or maybe pattern printing, or maybe even not checking, positive, negative? Have you at least tried such programs in Java? Anyone? Or maybe you will try today. If you're trying today, then also you can say yes.
Yes, today.
Yes.
Okay.
Today,
Yes,
sir.
I'll try today.
Yeah, because see, as you have learned all the concepts, right? So as soon as you practice, then it will get stored in your memory for longer time. Otherwise, now you're learning the syntax. Afterwards, you will practice. Then it is not that efficient, my opinion. Okay, so try those programs because you know the logic, right? So before I teach them, it's better that you learn, you practice. Okay, and so that we may not spend more time on that. So because there's so much to cover in Java other than this core Java part, so we can speed up a little. That's why I'm saying. Okay, any doubts you have, you can ask me now. If no doubts, you can leave this meeting. Thank you for attending. Any doubts?
Thank you.
Okay, welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, welcome.